Hello, everyone. Kyri from the Red Dawn here, and welcome back to the channel. Man United 3, Liverpool 2. Um, yeah, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. That was a painful watch. Losing at Old Trafford, it's always a bitter pill to swallow. But losing because we look like a shadow of ourselves for 45 minutes, that's what absolutely stings. We just got doubled by Man United for the first time in a decade. You know, as I said in the match preview before, 12 months ago, on paper, you think this is a Liverpool team that is supposed to be challenging, but now we've just handed Man United them Champions League qualification on the silver platter. But let's get into it. To go 2-0 down inside 15 minutes at Old Trafford, it's amateur football. We were pulled apart by their transitions. United sat in a 4-4-2 block, and we just invited them to hit us on the break. Stats-wise, we always have more of the ball, playing this controlled sort of style of football, 63% possession. But it just means absolutely nothing if you don't do anything with it. We had an expected goals of 0.88 compared to Man United's 2.34. And that tells the whole story. We passed sideways and backwards while they actually attacked. Defensively, we looked lost. Our communication between Van Dijk and the rest of our back line was non-existent. Alexis Mac Allister. Oh, boy. We need to have a serious conversation about Alexis Mac Allister. I love the guy, what he has done at this football club. But right now, he's becoming a liability in these high-intensity games. For Cunha's opener, he literally turned his back on the shot. It deflected off him and it went in. You cannot do that. He was caught in possession constantly. There was a wayward ball. He played under zero pressure that went straight to Kobe Manu, who scored the winner. And for Manu's winner, Macca's clearance was weak. It fell short. He lost the 50-50 duel. And Manu punished us. He absolutely punished us. Macca, he's taking way too many touches, playing the safe pass back to the centre backs when Szoboszlai is screaming for it between the lines. He looks leggy. He looks slow. And in a game that moves this fast, he's getting bypassed. I don't know what's wrong with Alexis, but I do have this theory, and it's about his mind on the World Cup. We know that the World Cup starts in June, and Alexis is a lock-in starter for Argentina. We know that. Every time he goes into a tackle right now, you could see the hesitation. We deserve a midfielder who is 100% working in the trenches, not someone who is mentally already in a training camp in Buenos Aires. If his heart isn't in it, Slot needs to bench him for someone like Curtis Jones, who actually wants to be there. And funnily, Curtis Jones played it right back for this one. He needs to play the midfield in the 8 position. But remember Alexis Mac Allister and his knee scare against Wolves in March. He's been playing it safe ever since. It's no coincidence whatsoever. And I'm not only going to criticize one player in the midfield. We could talk about Ryan Gravenberch, but I'm going to talk about Florian Wirtz. He's not going to get away from criticism either. Yes, he was playing as a false 9. He was pushed so high, he was practically a second striker. He needs the ball at his feet in the half spaces to be effective. But let's be honest, he was a ghost. We spent the money. We did the hype videos last summer. But in one of the biggest games of the season, he went missing. 0 shots, 0 chances created. How is that possible for a player of his quality? Is he too nice for the Northwest Derby? If you're going to wear a Liverpool shirt at Old Trafford, if you're going to have to wear the Liverpool shirt at Old Trafford, I must say, you have to demand the ball. You have to make things happen. And I'm absolutely worried. I'm generally worried about this one. We've given him the time to adapt, and we are in May right now. And so far, he's not even an inch of a player the player that he was at Leverkusen. I don't want to give up on him. I do believe with better coaching, he'll be better in the long run. But the price tag is starting to look like a massive, massive weight around his neck. Because if your marquee signing has a fewer big game goals or goal assists than your rotation players, you have a massive problem. Let's get into the positives because there were actually positives in this game. We'll talk about the shift in that first half. We were playing sideways. But in the first 15 minutes of that second half, we were vertical. We stopped letting United's backline breathe. When we play front foot attacking football, United's defenders, especially Harry Maguire and Diallo, panic. And when Liverpool actually commit bodies forward, United's backline dissolves. We talked about forcing them into 3 panic clearances in 60 seconds, and we were hunting in packs. It felt like the Liverpool of old, suffocating, relentless, and inevitable. It was the Dominik Szoboszlai show. His goal was pure individual brilliance. He saw the space, drove through, and lashed it in. It was a captain's goal without the armband. He played like a true leader on the pitch, and in my opinion, he should be our next captain. While others were walking or looking at their watches, Dom was sprinting 60 yards to track back and then 60 yards to lead the counter. He was playing 2 positions at once. He was the only one who seemed to understand the assignment. He wasn't playing for the summer. He was playing for the shirt. And if we had 3 more players of his caliber, we would win that game 5-2. Our other goal scorer was Cody Gakpo. And for Gakpo's goal, it wasn't about control. It was about pure, unadulterated aggression. Cody Gakpo, he's not going to beat 3 men with a dribble, but he understands space. While Wirtz was drifting wide, Gakpo stayed centrally, pinned Harry Maguire, and was there to poke it home when the chaos broke out. It was an ugly goal, but it was the result of a beautiful, high-intensity pressure. The moment it hit 2-2, something shifted on the touchline. But instead of going for the game at the scruff of the neck, Liverpool sat back. We invited the pressure. We went from being the hunters to being the prey in a matter of minutes. And this is where we have to talk about the coaching. Why did we stop the press? Why did we drop 10 yards deeper, Anna? You don't go to Old Trafford, get back on level terms, and then decide to play for a draw. That is a mid-table mentality, and it cost us everything. Even Leeds United went to Old Trafford and took the 3 points. It's just absolute shit mentality. We had them. United were rattled, and Liverpool had all the momentum. But instead of pushing for a 3-2 win, we sat back. We allowed Michael Carrick's side to regroup, find their shape, and start dictated play again. If we play like that, lazy in transition, passive in the midfield, and hiding behind an £100 million price tag, we aren't just losing to United. We're falling out of the Champions League conversations entirely. And that's just plain, cold, hard facts. We saw Michael Carrick, a man with half the resources, tactically dismantle Arne Slot on the biggest stage. And if you watch that 90-minute disaster and you seriously still think that Arne Slot is the right man to lead this football club, you got rocks in your head. It's that simple. First time United has done the double on us in a decade, and 18 losses for Liverpool in all competitions this season. But yeah, let's keep persisting with him. And that brings us to next Saturday, which I'll get up as well. We are facing Chelsea at Anfield, a team that Jamie Carragher has just called broken, a team that has spent billions to sit behind Bournemouth in the table. If this isn't the ultimate no excuses game for Arne Slot, then surely it has to be this one. If you can't get a tune out of this Liverpool squad against the Chelsea side that has forgotten how to win, then you seriously have to question if you're the right man for the job. But what about you? I want to know your thoughts. Who was your man of the match for this one? Was it Dominik Szoboszlai? Apologies for not doing the player ratings for this one. I thought I'd do a bit of a different sort of match review. And I won't be doing a match preview for the Chelsea game. Life is hectic for me right now with work and with other commitments. And I was almost not going to do this video tonight. But while we're still recording, this is my final warning to the club before that ball kicks off at Anfield on Saturday. We don't have time for the excuses. We need results. So come on. If this, surely we can beat the £1 billion bottle jobs. Surely. But that is it. I'm signing off, everyone. Up the Reds.